This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Keith, The Rock returned to the WWE, and he might be staying around for a huge matchup. Obviously, it's Roman Reigns, head of the table, going one-on-one with The Rock. Right here, right now, on the UWPod, we are going to give our top 5 opponents that we want to see The Rock go one-on-one with. Keith, let's get to it, baby. Take it away.
So already we've seen like 200% more of The Rock this year than we did last year. Because I'm pretty sure the last time we saw him under Vince's reign was, well, we saw him at the WrestleMania when he came out and set his name on fire and then beat Eric Rowan in 18 seconds. But then his egg showed up when we all thought he was going to be there for his anniversary at Survivor Series last year, the year before. That was weird. Way to disappoint a fan base, but getting off topic with that. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if he's back. If he is back, obviously everyone wants him and Roman.
Well, that's what they teased. Yeah,
right. They're teasing that. Everyone's been talking about it for years. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So we're here today to talk about who we think the good matches for him would be.
Yeah.
So for me going through it, we were kind of talking about this a little bit before we started and everything. Spoiler alert for everybody else too. When we first talked about this, Nick shot a list of 5 guys that he thought I would have on my list. 3 of the 5 are on my list because I'm just such a basic bitch,
buddy.
But starting off with one of those 3 that were on his list for me, I was kind of trying to think of dudes that like we never want to admit this or anything, but The Rock is not that great in the ring. He's always been more of a character than like a ring worker. He's not terrible, but he's not amazing. So like I was trying to think of like 5 dudes that could like go toe to toe with him in promos leading up to a good match, but then also carry him to a good match. So spoiler alert there, talking about promos. Obviously the first one I picked is LA Knight. Yeah. I just want to see them promo off. Mad people have said over and over. I talk about Cultaholic all the time. Ross on Cultaholic has been saying this since he was in NXT, that LA Knight is basically The Rock. He has the same charisma. He can hold a friggin' crowd. Yeah. It took a while for everyone to get it, but now that they get it, they're never going to lose it. Like, the guy's on fire. I want to see them just go back and forth on the mic a bunch. A match with them, it'd be fine, I'm sure. LA Knight's in the same kind of boat as The Rock. I think he's a little bit better in the ring than The Rock is, but it's still kind of the same thing. He's a lot more of the character than anything else. But I want to see that happen. The story kind of writes itself. Heel and face could be either one. Just kind of saying, just like, hey, you're like the new me. That's crazy. Or like, everyone says I'm the new you. That's terrible. Like, it can go either way. Really basic. I just want to see the promos, really.
Yeah, and I think obviously The Rock is known worldwide, and anyone that steps, in the ring with him is going to be known worldwide as well. And I think that's a great rub, inside or outside of the ring. The Rock's going to give you a rub. Now, you brought up the point where, he's never been the greatest in the ring, and that's okay. I mean, we saw the Twitter trolls say, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. He's slow. I don't know about that. I think he can do it. I think, look at Hawk, look at Hogan, look at those guys. They can still put up. So to see LA Knight go one-on-one with The Rock, just the leading up to the match is what I'm looking forward to. I would love to see them just battle. And LA Knight, he's just going to say what he wants to say. And that's the same thing with The Rock. And I know they're very similar in ways, but The Rock is known. You've seen it with his feuds with John Cena. He brings up real life shit. He's going to bring it up. Yeah. He's definitely going to bring up, hey, copycat. It's just, I don't know. That's the kind of shit I want to see. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, and that might be an obvious, but why not? Yeah. Why not see something like that? Yeah. Yeah. Let's get to it. Let's get to let's start with Cody. I think if we're gonna do the obvious ones, let's do Cody's. And it just, again, it writes itself. It seems like Cody has been interrupted through almost all of 2023 with let's finish the story. He can never finish the story. He didn't finish the story. And that's what they're doing now. They're leading up to WrestleMania 40 with I'm going to finish the story. And to be honest, when we saw The Rock on Raw day one, I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought, oh shit, this is going to happen. Just because if you see him more than once, it's like, okay, something's being set up, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be everybody's saying they can't do Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber. I mean, why not do it at WrestleMania and maybe add Cody or something? I mean, there's just, I know, triple threat, you don't want to see that, but I just feel like Cody is not going to beat Roman one-on-one. So what do? You add The Rock in, and, who's going to get the pin? I don't know. I think if this is going to happen, I think the respect that The Rock has and Roman has for Dusty, I think that's going to lead to, obviously, Cody finishing the goddamn story, please. So I know triple threat doesn't seem like, that's the way to go for WrestleMania, but I don't see The Rock and Roman at Chamber, even if it is in Australia. I know it's, they do big things when they're out of the country. I just don't see it. I think I don't want to say a waste, because I would love to see it if it happens anywhere. I mean, it could happen on Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter, but it makes sense. I mean, we had that triple threat a few years ago. What was it? Triple H, Benoit, was it Jericho at WrestleMania, or Triple H, Benoit? There was a triple threat, and
I think it was Triple H, Benoit, Michaels.
Michaels, okay.
I might be wrong, but where's Justin?
Yeah, Justin, we're not live, but
anyway.
Put it in the comments section. Yeah, it does work. I mean, triple threat to, what was it, Charlotte? Was it Charlotte, Becky, Ronda?
Yeah,
that worked.
That was the first. I mean,
triple threats work.
Triple threats totally work when you got the right people going in there, and you don't, as long as they're not like choreographed to where it's just the constant like, oh, one person's down and out for a while, so it's basically a singles match until this person comes in and cuts someone off, then it's another singles match with those two. Like, if you do it the right way, you can,
Now the question here for you. And is The Rock a face? Is Rock the heel? Is Cody the heel because he's annoyed? He's a meme now. Finish the story. Have you seen that? He's a meme.
It's the never-ending story.
Yeah, it's just like maybe he uses that and says, I can't take it. I'm trying to be the American dream, aka the American nightmare, but it's just maybe I'm more of a nightmare than I don't know. I think it writes itself, but Roman is going to be Roman. The Rock, I mean, what do you think before we get to your next one?
So I think
fantasy booking, baby.
I mean, we're going to touch on this in some other stuff as we go on throughout the time and everything. I don't know. Even like last year when everyone was talking, oh, it's going to be Rock Roman. It's going to be Rock Roman. I haven't really been that like jazzed on that match anyway. Like no matter what. Putting Cody into it to make it a triple threat, I honestly feel like could make it a little bit better. But then it does come down to like,
who gets the pin?
Who takes the pin? Because I don't think.
Or who takes the pin?
Like who takes the pin? Because like it's literally if Cody's pinned by either one of them, you're burying Cody.
Yeah. And that could happen.
Whoever pins, but then it's also if Roman's taking the pin, whoever pins Roman is getting that's huge. Like that's huge heat for like good.
And why would you give it to The Rock?
Exactly.
Right?
Why are you going to give it to a part timer?
Yep.
And then, but it's the same. Like The Rock being the part timer really probably should be the one to take the pin, but like he seems like he's the only one of the part timers that comes back. They're just like no. He's the strongest. He's the best. He's the everything because he's in Hollywood.
He's Bianca.
And it's like exactly, like just
Yeah.
So it would be cool. It'd be a good way to get about it. I don't know that needs to be a Mania match though either. Like as long as it's on one of the big ones, I'm with you. I don't want to see that at Elimination Chamber. No offense to all our Aussie fans and anything like that. The we have there and love to Australia. I always wanted to get myself down there and everything.
All right, cheap plug. Would you? Cheap pop.
Like Elimination Chamber's not the setting for a Rock Roman or a Cody Roman or a Punk Rollins or anything like that. Like, like it's elimination chamber. It's like a secondary at best pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do Rock Roman and you're not gonna do it at Mania and just one-on-one at Mania, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. But it should still be at like maybe Rumble. I could see it at
Yeah.
Rumble, you know.
Yeah, this will be the last thing I'll say, and we can get
Yeah.
to your next opponent. I think the anticipation would really help this match if it was a triple threat. The Rock just teasing, I'm still the head of the table, wink, wink,
Right.
nudge, nudge, and we're still family. The obvious, I know, it's going to happen. He's going to turn. That's what I would love to see. If he turns on Roman, maybe at Mania, or again, doesn't have to be Mania. It can be day 2 SmackDown, something like that. I just think the anticipation is what would, just like the whole thing with Sammy and Roman. When is Sammy going to turn? It was just like, that's what made the Bloodline storyline amazing. Now it's like, okay, we see Heyman, we see Solo every now and then. Jimmy and Jay, they're, where are they? What are they doing? The anticipation, I think, would be better than the match.
Totally. Especially
sure.
especially depending on, especially like the way they would, if they could play the story of it, like,
Yeah.
Rock just like says those things, but then Rock just kind of joins the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Like,
or like Jimmy and Jay join the Rock, and
right,
then
exactly.
Rikishi comes back, the Samoans
Exactly,
the whole family. It could sell. I just, again, triple threat doesn't make sense.
Right.
I just don't know what you do. I mean, Cody has to finish the story. I know. We could talk about this. Let's get to your next opponent. Let's hear it, buddy.
So this is my one that's like the toughest for me to like actually think of a good storyline for. Like, I got something a little bit maybe, but it's another obvious one for me because I'm such a basic bitch. KO. For a lot of the same reasons of LA Knight. The promos between those two would be great because it's a different style, but KO on the mic is like one of the untouchables for me. And also KO in the ring is like phenomenal. So like talk about having like someone good to like have a dance partner to make The Rock look good. You don't get much better than having KO in there with him.
No.
Plus, it's then it's almost like the muscled guy against like the bigger dude in KO, which would be a great little dynamic. Like I said, the promos leading up to it, and then the story that I'm kind of grasping at straws a little bit, but like we had Owens Austin at Mania last year. Have Owens. Owens is someone I'm going to love, heel or face. Yeah. He's a little bit better as a heel because he just is in a lot of ways with things, in my opinion. But so turn him heel, have him start doing the same thing he did toward Austin with The Rock. Start it now, where it's just kind of like, what are you doing here? You're a part timer. This is stupid. Get out of here. We don't need you. We never needed you. It's been better since you've been gone.
I love it.
Talk the smack, and then have them have a match at Mania or wherever. Build it to whatever. These don't have to be it. None of these have to actually be at Mania.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You turn them now. You get that going now, and then we can have a face Owens against by Mania if you want a different feud for him. Or whatever you want to do with them.
I just love the setup too. Stone Cold. The Rock.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be amazing. Just to have that in your belt, saying I went one-on-one with The Rock and Stone Cold. It's like when Corbin says, I retired Angle. It's just something to have. And I know I don't like saying this word, but I say it often. It's deserved. He can have The Rock 1 year, The Rock, Stone Cold, Taker, Kane comes back. I mean, you could see it all, and it just makes sense. It makes sense because KO's that damn good, like it just makes sense, and it would be fun. And he's similar to Cena. He's similar to Cody, or LA Knight, where he can go off the cuff, and it it would be entertaining.
Right. He can riff with The Rock a little bit.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Let's do it, baby. Let's get to the next one. This is mine, The Miz. Keith, I said it in the beginning. The Rock's known worldwide, and stepping in the ring with him would do the same thing for his opponent, would make him, known worldwide. Anything he does inside or out of the ring would be an amazing rub. The Miz obviously does not need the rub. He is just who he is, and like you said, the his career speaks for himself. That's why he's still there, because he's so damn good. And you can play off the WrestleMania 27 where The Rock came in to help the Miz retain his title against John Cena. I know the Miz was concussed. But you could go off. Yeah, you could go off. The Miz saying, I didn't need your help. I didn't want your help.
Oh, yeah.
I main event at WrestleMania on my own. I did it myself. You just came in. It was a cherry on the top. And then you had, once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime. Well, not at my expense, one-on-one.
Writes itself.
Let's do it. Yeah, it really does. And
beautiful.
Again, The Miz doesn't need it, but god damn, that would be good, because you saw the promos with Gunther and they were good. I watched it back and it's just like, wow, I'm entertaining. And then Gunther's like, you know what? I'm going to put you down. And I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think The Miz could put up 2, and there's a lot of things you can do. You mentioned off air when we were discussing the topics, The Miz came out as The Rock. He could play off of that again. There's just a lot there from that storyline from WrestleMania 27 leading up to it, and then also at WrestleMania, the main event. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, no, it'd be a great one. Miz is another one that's like,
I see what you did there.
It's right.
The great one.
The great one. Yeah, like Miz is just another one of those ones in a similar vein to like KO of like just he's like a safe worker. Like you don't hear the stories of like Miz like threw him too hard into the ropes and did this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Miz isn't going to be the guy that's going to like hit a suplex on the Rock on the concrete and like bust him up and like hurt him permanently or anything.
You know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Like it's going to be, he might not. Miz is literally like the truest definition of like a solid hand. Like just plug him in. He's going to be okay. Yep. He's going to give you a decent match. It might not be a 5-star classic or anything.
Absolutely not.
But it's going to be good. You're going to get what you need to get. It's all going to work out the way you need it to. And he falls in that same category again. Like I've talked about with my first two of like the promos with those two. Miz is a fantastic promo.
Yeah, underrated.
He can kind of riff a little bit too. Maybe not as off the cuff as the other guys are.
It's more corny when he riffs. Yeah,
but he's still got it. Like he can still talk. That'd be great. Miz and Rock would be a great one. That was when we were talking about this. When you sent that was like the one you sent. I was like, damn, I really wish I would have thought of that first. That's solid. It's a really good one.
I went on WWE.com, click Superstars, and I'm looking at every single one.
Oh, yeah. You have to know.
Trick Williams, maybe. Roman Reigns, we're going to see that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Again, it'll write itself.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, buddy. What do you got? Give it to us.
So third one, this was not one of the ones that Nick had on his list for me, but it's still pretty basic for just me, if you know anything about me from watching stuff here. It's the counterpart to KO. It's Sami Zayn. He was a pick I made just mostly again for that whole have a good dance partner for The Rock, so to make him look good. Sammy sells his ass off all the time. He's gonna make Rock look like a world beater, which is good for the legend of it all. He'll get a good match out of him. Storyline wise, it's another one that kind of writes itself of just being like, oh, you're the head of the table now. Let me show you what I did to the last head of the table. And just
I love that.
Go for it, like
that really does write itself.
Like it just
think about that. Yeah,
it's just that's where it is. It's he's ready for it. Even and it can even be. I would if it's going to go down, I would want it to be heel Rock face Sammy. And like if it goes into what we were talking about with like bloodline stuff, where it's like maybe Jay starts going back with The Rock more and. Sammy's like, listen, man, I don't trust him any more than I trusted Roman. So, like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Whatever. Jay starts showing some tendencies or whatever, and then it's Sammy to save the day again. Just I told you, this guy's bad news. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it just because it's there. You can see it. Sammy's going to say, you know what? I took Roman down. You want to call yourself the head of the table? You want to joke about it? I don't joke about this shit. Make it serious. Make it like realistic. Make it believable.
Exactly.
And damn, that's got to be it. That's got to be one.
It is like it's again. It was the pick mainly came from just looking for those good good hands that are going to give him a good match. And
Or
it's
because
just
you love Sammy.
that too. I'm, he's looking at any list we're talking about anything. I'm looking for somewhere to try to fit him in anyway.
Yeah.
But
but honestly, it makes sense.
It just like that whole when Sammy in the Bloodline was like when the Bloodline was at its peak in terms of a story. When that was going on, I said it on one of our streams. When that was going on, I was like, this is rivaling, if not potentially overtaking, like Austin McMahon from the Attitude Era in terms of like just how invested and how great and how layered and deep the storyline is with all this.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of lost its way a little bit now, as Austin McMahon did when it went too long. But yeah, I mean, what else is to say? It's Sammy. Sammy would get a great match out of him. The story is there. What else do you need to say?
Keith, this might be obvious. Let's get to the next one.
And trust me, this isn't sour grapes.
But the fact that Dwayne is the main event at WrestleMania next year, and I'm not, makes me sick. Keith, it writes itself. CM Punk going one-on-one with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah. He is what did he say? He is a better suck-up or better something than Cena.
Kisses Vince's ass better.
Yeah, ass kisser.
Like
That's it. Better ass kisser than Cena. I mean, it writes itself. Again, just to see the promo battle, because we've said Sammy, KO, LA Knight, they will go off the cuff. CM Punk is known for that. In AEW, he would just throw around cuss words. He said what he wanted, he did what he wanted, and that's why people love CM Punk. And he is, he is who he is.
Yep.
See him go one-on-one with The Rock, finally finishing that story would be awesome.
Yeah. For sure.
What do you think, brother?
My feelings on Punk.
Yeah,
aside.
we do.
Feelings on Punk aside. It would make sense. Especially it would make even more sense because not even just all of that history from back the original time with the pipe bomb and all that, but even like now where it's like, I can hear Punk dropping some kind of line of like, this place has wanted you back for how many years? They just wanted you to show up and give them a wave just to kind of boost something. And you don't want to do that until I show up because you need to steal something from me again. Damn, you have to get it from me. You can't just do it on your, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, that I didn't even.
It's just like a perfect thing. Like it's literally just bringing the pipe bomb forward again. Where he's just kind of like, you had to wait until I change the game again, and then you have to come back and ruin everything that I'm trying to build to.
And to an extent, I mean, it's not true, but you could make it realistic. When CM Punk returned, where was The Rock? At day one. I mean, it makes sense. It writes itself. And just the grudge, that's what I think Punk does best. He holds the grudge in a wrestling storyline, in a feud, the best, and he would bring that up, I said it in the past. I said it. It makes me sick that you're main eventing WrestleMania. God damn it. You did it again at WrestleMania 40. It's supposed to be me versus Seth. Again, you said it, Keith. It writes itself.
It's there for the taking.
Yeah.
It'd be good. It'd be good.
Yeah. Again, we're talking about The Rock. We're talking about CM Punk. We're talking about The Miz. It's not going to be a 5-star, match. It's not.
Yeah.
But leading up to it, promos, boom, writes itself.
Exactly.
Keith,
yeah.
Let's hear it. What do we got?
So next one, this is my kind of like way out there one, but this is one that like maybe no one's thinking about, but as soon as they hear it, they're going to be like, oh my God, yeah. It's Carmelo Hayes.
Yes.
That's the third and final one of Nick's original 5 he sent to me that he called right. But come on. You want to talk about like the next Rock? Like that's literally almost Melo in a nutshell. Speaking for myself, anyway, I don't know if anyone's going to agree with the same thing, but like when Carmelo first came around, I hated him. I was like, what is this? He was just bland, good in the ring, but I'm just like, he's kind of just bland. He's just this happy guy, whatever. Even when he first turned heel, I didn't get it at first. And like when he was wearing like the bandana on, like tied to his leg, but he had like the short shorts on still, I'm like, what are you doing? That's a weird look. This is dumb. I really don't like you. But then he found it eventually.
Yeah,
Him and Trick really found it, flicked the switch, and he became like quite literally he's like the most electrifying man on NXT at this point. Or for a minute he was. He's getting in different places now. He's going in different directions. Did he hurt Trick? Whatever. All this, everywhere he's at with it now. But it's literally it's the generation thing. It's for like if someone like our sons, they're going to grow up not really ever having seen The Rock in a ring. By the time they're actually conscious enough to remember watching wrestling matches, they're not going to know much about The Rock. We'll watch old stuff on Peacock with them and whatnot, but they're not going to really get it like we did watching it all live.
You said on the stream he sucks at wrestling.
Exactly. So like they'll get it, but not the same way that we get it from growing up with it. But they are going to have Mello. They'll be able to see Mello, and they'll see Mello keep getting great and keep getting great and keep going, which is going to happen. It's another one. Like it just writes itself. This is a good one too. That would it can even be a good just like face versus face one if Mello stays face, even though Mello's getting toward the heelish side because he definitely attacked Trick Williams. But like it could be a face versus face one that would just be good, where it's just Mello just being like, I'm trying to show the next round. Like I'm trying to show the next generation. You're the last generation, and I respect that, but I got to show what it is now. And Rock being like, I had to do the same thing, so I respect that. Let's go for it.
Yeah. What does he say? I'm the guy. What is it? I'm him. I'm him. There you go. I'm him. I'm her. I'm she. I'm it. We don't have to get into it here, but he is him. Yeah. I love it. That's again, it doesn't write itself as smoothly as Punk or Cody, but what you said, the next generation.
Right.
I mean, that's what you want to see. And again, from what I said in the beginning, you want someone in the ring that's going to take advantage of what The Rock is bringing. That rub, that Hollywood rub, that legendary WWE rub, inside or outside of the ring. When he's done with Carmelo, he's going to know that, they're going to know that he's him. He's going to be the guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
Let's we're in the 7th inning stretch. Let's do a stretch.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a stretch pick here. I don't know if it's necessarily a stretch pick. I just don't know what he's doing right now, but it's Montez Ford. It's got to be Montez Ford. I mean, he's with Lashley, and I don't even know if that faction is still a thing right now. I know Lashley is he's just doing what he can do, but it's just I don't know. I'm not into it. I thought it would be a good idea, and I thought splitting up them would be a good idea, but this is a great idea. I mean, this is what you do. This is how you catapult someone into stardom, and that's what Montez Ford needs. I don't know if he's going to still be in the faction, but I know that this would be absolutely wonderful. It doesn't write the story as well as a Raw or a Punk or a Cody, but it could be similar to a Carmelo. I'm the next man up.
Absolutely.
Something like that. I want. I always, when we do these episodes and we're, top 10 or top 5 or what's next, it's always Montez Ford. He's always on my list.
Exactly.
And that's similar to you with you and Sammy and KO. And I won't name the other guy because I think he's going to be on your, the next guy, the next opponent for The Rock. But, I just see it, of course it's the obvious one, something like a Jimmy or Jay, but this makes sense. I don't know how it makes sense. What do you think? Do you have any idea on how to start this feud other than breaking up from the faction of, what is it? Hurt Business 3.0 at this point?
Whatever they are now.
Yeah.
So that's
how do you do it?
That's like the good thing with this though. That's like one of the really good things with like The Rock being kind of back around is like, because he's like been away for so long and because he's like the legend that he is, like, that's like, if you don't, we have talked about a bunch of people already that have like, it writes itself,
Yeah.
but you don't need it to write itself with him because it can easily just be something where it's,
that's a good point.
Depending on how you want to spin it, something with like Montez, all it needs to be is like Montez just wants to come up and like talk to him, just be like, listen, man, like you were a huge influence on my life because of this, that, or the other. If you want to go face to face with him, Montez kind of just like yeah, shut up, leave me alone, because like you're a big reason why I did this. So much respect for you. Da 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 da. Similar to a Mello thing, it'd be an honor to share the ring with you. Da 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 da. Cool, let's go. We'll do this. We'll do these matches now.
Yeah.
Or you do a different one where it's like still the same kind of thing where he's just like, dude, it's The Rock. I got to go talk to him or whatever, and he like offends The Rock in some way, and then it's like, oh, I didn't mean to. Actually, I did because I'm so much better. This is the new time. You're the old time.
Yeah.
Boom, and just move from there. And that's something you can slot any of the newer dudes in that you want to see go with them. You can slot that same story into it.
Yeah.
And it works fine. And Montez is absolutely one of the future dudes.
The dude.
You can see it. You can see he's the future in the company. It's just from that him and when we were doing our year-end awards, I had on my list potentially the Elimination Chamber match for the U.S. title when he just crushed it against these just other juggernauts. Out of nowhere, he got thrown in and was looking slamming in there.
Yeah.
Great. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So that would be another great, that'd be a great one. And
great one. One more. Oh, there you go. One more idea before you get to your next one.
Yeah, go for it.
You could do something with it. It's obviously it's more believable if it's Bobby Lashley going one-on-one with The Rock. So maybe you could do something there with, Montez. Hey, bud, like, I'm up. I'm the next man up.
Right.
I got this. Or they have a little, I don't know. But it just seems like that could work too, where it's Bobby starting the feud and then Montez, maybe finishing it. Maybe that helps the faction. I don't know what the hell that, what's happening
Whatever
there.
That faction is.
Yeah. Enough about Montez Ford. Give it to me, brother. What do we got?
Yeah, so I got my last one is also a bit of a stretch, and then I got another one that's just kind of funny that I'll bring up at the end of it here. But last one is the winner of the 2023 Duder Award. It's Chad Gable. Part of it is because it's just proving further of why Gable deserved the Duder Award of just being able to slot him in and have him crush it because he totally would. But I thought of this one because it was another one of those, again, thinking a dude's good in the ring, help carry to a good match. Gable is phenomenal in the ring. And then like once I saw that name and thought about how good he is, I was like, well, how do we get there? And it was just like, boom, the Hurricane feud from back in the day. The Rock had that feud. It wasn't all that long lasting or anything, but The Rock totally feuded with the Hurricane, just being like, who the hell are you? Like, you are nothing to me. You're this little guy. You're a friggin' nerd. Like, get out of here. Yeah. And you can literally run that exact same story back against Gable, and Gable just going, shush, I'm going to kill you. What do you mean? I have deadlifted Braun Strowman. You think I can't lift you? Get out of here. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it. It could be similar to the feud with Angle, too. I mean, Angle had that comedy relief.
Chad still should have been Angle's illegitimate son. But
Yes. In his elder days, he was more comedy than Olympic, Three Eyes and all that. So it could work, and not could, it would work. I mean, he's the dude for a reason. Exactly. He can, whatever you put him in, he can do. NXT, he can do. SmackDown, he can do. Lose to Gunther 8 million times, he could do it and make it look good,
Hold the Raw tag titles, take the Raw tag titles from Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. He can do it.
Yeah.
He has done it.
He can. Yes, he can. And let's get to the last one here.
Yeah.
And again, it might be an obvious one, but I'm going to go with it. RKO Randy Orton. I don't recall if there ever was a feud between Dwayne and the Viper Randy, but just to see that, again, look at the background. Look at the bloodline of Dwayne and, what Randy and his family brought to the WWE and to wrestling. It would be something special to see them go one-on-one. Keith, because it might be the last time that Randy performs. It might be a big-time match at WrestleMania. Again, it might have happened in the past, but to see it in 2024 would be something special. Just to see two legends, maybe he can go back. He teased it, earlier last month or last December or whatever, that he's still a legend killer.
Absolutely.
So he could kill the legend of Dwayne. And I don't know. It would be something cool. I don't know how that feud would start, but to see, just to put that on a poster, man, Randy and The Rock, two faces, what they always do on the
Amazing.
posters, would be something cool. I
I'm all
saw
for
you pondering there. What do you think?
So I was doing a quick Google just to see, because I couldn't remember either if The Rock and Randy had ever actually had a match.
Yeah. What did you find?
A quick Google didn't yield any matches, but I did see one from back. It was in 04,
Okay.
early Orton, when he first stopped being the dude doing the old Barry O symbol, which is crazy that was a thing he used to do. But they had a face off at one point, in the ring, a promo off kind of thing. That it looks like it's all the things are just The Rock embarrasses Randy Orton in the ring. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's another one. Play that clip. It writes itself. All that needs to be, all you need to set that feud up is to just be oh, The Rock's back. They're just doing video packages of The Rock every week for different things. And the end of the one video package is that promo off. And then you just cut to Randy just being nope.
Yeah.
Nope,
hey,
here we go.
You know what, too? I just thought about this. Bring in Mick Foley,
Yeah.
Have, him in obviously that, legendary moment of going through the table. That would be something special to maybe have him help out Randy or, help out The Rock. Just to bring him in.
Yeah.
Would be something cool. Yeah.
Always we're bringing Mick back for anything. Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you got before we end it here? I mean, the obvious ones.
Honorable mention.
Let's hear it.
This is all going to depend on how long he stays around and how bad either of these three need the money. But I could see maybe even a triple threat of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and The Rock at a Saudi show. That's a Saudi Crown Prince wet dream.
Yeah.
If you say it's not, you have not been paying enough attention to the Saudi shows. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I think Triple H is full on retired, so I don't think we'll see Paul back in the ring. But
no,
Shawn and The Rock have never feuded. Apparently, they really don't like each other. Shawn was in the peak of being a dick when The Rock came around, so they just never got along. That's why they never had a match before. But Shawn's all about loving Jesus and stuff now and turning his ways around, and The Rock's a mature person. I'm sure they could shake hands and kiss babies. The Saudi prince would pay them each easily $2 million a piece just for that one match, without question. Just the two of them individually, and then would pay WWE an additional $1 billion because they put the match together.
Yeah,
he'd spend a ton of money on that match. He would.
Yeah. I mean, they thought Yokozuna was still alive. The Rock's
That's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So to have that happen.
Dude's name? I'll get to it. We'll bring that one back up later. I had to just have his name written down just to bust that all the time. The worst. Anyway, but that's everything I got. That's what I would like to see if he's going to stick around, man. Honestly, if he's going to just show up every once in a while to shake hands and kiss babies and all, that's fine too. But whatever. He's got the UFL to deal with now,
Yeah, UFL. This is what we do. We fantasy book. We talk about the things you want to talk about right here on the UW podcast. Keith, give the people what they want. How can they find you?
You can find me on X at Keith of the Ring. You can find me on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring, and also on TikTok at Keith of the Ring.
Yes, sir. And you can find us on X at the UWPod and Instagram at UW Podcast. Keith, we do have a fancy website, UWPod.com. Let's go, baby. Peace.